Yes, perfect. Just a minute, Tim.
So, do you want to do some brief introduction,
Yeah,
or I just go ahead?
yes, yes. I'll be starting. I'm just switching my network connection. Okay, Tim. My name is Subramanyam. So I will be your host for the day and for the event. And I'm the Visakhapatnam Atlassian chapter leader, and Tamanna is our community APAC. So like we are hosting these events on a knowledge base and sharing our knowledge and the best practices that we use with Atlassian products, any sort of Atlassian products, not just restricted to Jira and Confluence or even Trello. So anyone within your circles are welcome to join and spread the event, share it with your circles, and get benefited with this. And for the participants, there will be a random swag that will be given end of the event, and I will be mailing them to them. So today's topic is all about the agile transformation because we see a lot of organizations or even every project in the organization, be it at enterprise level, be it a startup company. So they are speaking only one thing: Scrum or Agile or Kanban. So whatever be the terminology or the methodology they use, end of the day they end up using one of the Atlassian products, either to track their deliverables or to plan their roadmaps or how they want to portray or how they plan the releases. So Atlassian products have been user friendly and they have into the market every project. If you say Agile or Scrum, the first thing that comes into mind is, oh, Jira, oh, the Confluence, oh, it's a Trello. Oh, come on. Scrum is a replica of Agile, in the sense a replica of Jira. So that is the depth that the Atlassian tools have been designed and reached the market. So it's been very user friendly. And within this series, so today we have the project lead, the agile coach, and agile enthusiast. I can say an ambassador of agile, who is also a Hong Kong chapter leader, Atlassian chapter leader. He is with us to share his best tips, best practices, and information about agile transformation. And with this, Nikkro, I will pass on the dais to you. Please introduce yourself. And if you have any personal website that you want to get
Mhm.
connected or get acquainted with the audience, please feel free to share in the chat window. And
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
over to you.
Sure. Okay. Thanks, Superior. So, yep. So, welcome everyone for this sharing session. So, my name is Nikkro. I'm based in Hong Kong. So, here's this the brief agenda we were going through today. So, some introduction, background, and like what is Agile, why do we lead that, and what do we need to be changed during the transformation. And also, I will share some of my experience during the transformation. So with HSBC, Telstra, and VF, we go into the company and enterprise in the later slide, and then we will talk about like what's the impact. What's the actual impact to the agile transformation, and how do you help your company or how do you help your client to get more buy-in when you do the agile transformation? And then finally, we have a quick recap, and then we will go into the Q&A session. Okay, so without spending much of the time, so let me quickly introduce myself. So who am I? So my name is Nikkro Yu. I have more than 9 years of like agile experience, running Scrum Master, doing agile coaching, doing agile transformation, and also leading the PMO in global institution. So I'm certified for like both Scale Agile, Scrum.org, Scrum Alliance, or LES, and also a Atlassian community leader since December. Um, I'm a little bit different from most of the like Scrum Master or Agile coach. I was technical background, so I do know how to do hands-on coding, and I do like have some reward winning in my development time. So I got the World Meteorological Organization gold prizes in website in 2008, and also a couple of award in Hong Kong as well. So it's just that's briefly my background. So the reason why I think, well, even though if you're not from a technical background, when you're working with Agile, you need to understand what is the technical impact. So I do encourage people like understanding more about the technical depth before doing the transformation. So that's pretty much some introduction of myself. So let's do some quick recap because I'm sure the audience, but we'll go through some quick slide. So why do we need agile? So there's some I mean, practically there are four manifesto and 12 principles that I'm not going to talk about today. So I presume you have some understanding on those. And on the agile attributes, I would classify that agile is trying to bring transparency to the people that using your product, which is your customer, and your product is very customer focused, and the team, especially the product team and the tech team, have the ability to take in whatever reflected in the market and then adjust the strategy accordingly. And the whole team is sharing the ownership, so there will be no manager responsible for blah blah blah. It's the whole team responsibility, and then we will have a continuous improvement. So in my humble opinions, agile is talking about these five attributes. So maybe your company doesn't have those like agile terminology, but if you're feeding into these kind of attributes, I think you're pretty much agile, to be honest. So why? So that's come to the reason why we need agile. So well, thanks to COVID, I believe I mean, which impacting the whole world, especially India, China, Hong Kong. I mean, also the Western world, we are greatly impacted by the COVID. So we are working in a very competitive challenging world. It's a very complicated model. So if you if we have a chance to like take the clock once the clock backward to 1.5 years time when we firstly encounter COVID, I'm sure you or you even your company will have a lot of different decision being made. How do we make ourselves more flexible? But that's why agile is a framework or some mindset that can help in place to decide how do you run your product successfully, and also can tell you, well, for example, in last month I make some decision based on blah 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 study, and whether does it work or not, or whether does it fit or not. Agile is some mindset that can bring you to have a recap and it will rethink whether this is something the market wants. And of course, agile is talking about like speeding up things and doing in a more efficient manner. So the question is, can your customer really wait? So I'll take a very typical example, like the iPhone. iPhone has a life cycle of 1 year time. So each year they will produce a new model, and then they will wait for another year to release another one. So Apple doing that in a very different manner. I mean, outside the portal or the modern world, because they already built up the brand, and they just push out some product and then they will push it through the marketing, and then the people will accept that eventually. But what we observed is that, well, since 7 years time, so since after the iPhone 7, they do have different product line, like they do have a iPhone SE, they do have a Pro version, they do have a Pro Max version, which actually echo back, well, although they have a fixed timeline, but want to expand the customer base. So in case of like saving the customer turning into other product, they are expanding the line, so the customer base will be maintained. But on the other hand, if you're running a product that not that famous, your customer may probably not wait for you. So what happened to Agile is that they help you to refine and then readjust what your product objective, and then apply to that accordingly. So that's some of the bullet point that I think why we need Agile. And then so what exactly need to be done for transforming to agile? Is that changing everyone's title? Is that aligning the meetings for like ceremonies, or we define everyone's roles and responsibility, or we simply add the agile word in every project? Well, to my answer, all those four bullet points are false. So you cannot change your company by changing the title, changing the wordings, changing the project name, etc. Agile transformation need to be done in 5 dimensions. First of all, the knowledge, how the people in your company have the knowledge about the agile itself, and then the culture. So is your company still like a top-down level company, or you are having much open culture that you're willing to listen to the people, even in the junior stage or even in the mid-tier level? So the third point is strategy. So many situations when you are delivering a project-based delivery, you don't really have a strategy. So you have the set of requirements, you have the project objective, but you don't really understand what's the strategy driving that project. So this is a very key point when we run into Agile, because we want to align the strategy across the whole company. So even from the CEO to your head of blah 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 marketing, product, and then tech side, we really should have the same strategy aligned. And then the fourth point is technology. Of course, when we run into Agile, we need to have some visibility and some transparency. So as Subramanyam mentioned about it, it's like, well, Jira and Conference is a great tools to bring out more transparency. But at the same time, we should look into like, what can we automate it? What can we automate it to save more human effort and make sure things doesn't break? And last but not least, and we need to keep on a review status. So, well, we review how the market react, and then we adjust accordingly. Or same thing apply to the team. So these 5 points are the areas that we will be focusing in the sharing today. So what kind of value I'm trying to bring out to the company as transforming the agile? I would say to help the company grow a high performance tree. So in order to grow a high performance tree, we need to have a culture like people having the openness mindset, people are focused, people are respecting each other, people have the commitment with, and then also have the courage to speak up. So as the result, when we grow, we will have a team that can be able to do anything periodically, of course, and then we will getting astonishing result because we keep reflecting, and then we listen to the public and listen to the market, and we should be able to get the right business value, because well, sometimes it's not someone especially like the CEO tell you the vision and then you keep on working into that. There may be some discussion, some fight, some argument, but at least if the people are having respect and also commitment and also openness, we will get into the right business value. And also we will be able to get the business value faster because we are more familiar with what we are trying to do. And last but not least, we have a room for the team to grow. So this is talking about like a sustainability about the whole culture in your company. If your company having this kind of culture, I am pretty sure no one want to leave your company. Yeah. So these are the values that we're trying to bring out during the agile transformation. So let's talk. Well, having talked about the background, so let's talk about some of my experience and also beyond that. So before that, I'll need to do a very like brief disclaimer. The information I have going to share with you is based on the time I'm working with that company. It doesn't reflect the latest status. I don't really have the latest status to be sure. I do have some, but it's not the accurate one. I do love every of my past company, so so I'm truly on that. So yeah. So the first one, I would say this is my Agile Incubator. I work in HSBC Hong Kong, and it's a global role. I work in the global team of wealth management. So talking about global team, like the headquarters or the regional quarter was in Hong Kong, but we do have working teams in India. We do have working teams in Singapore. We do have working team in China, Taiwan, etc. So it's a very I would say a team of everywhere. So imagine that we are local located. So it's a very hectic to agile transformation. And of course, when we're running about global team structure, we do have multiple projects. And at the same time, multiple projects serving for multiple companies, and we do have multiple stakeholders. So it's a very complicated situation. I know like the India HSBC Center is in New Delhi, so you may, I mean, in some chance, if you able to speak up to any of the folk in HSBC in India, then you will understand how complicated our organization structure is. So apart from that, we do, I mean, even in the business layer, we still have global business, regional business, and local business. So imagine that all the funding are top down. So whenever local, for example, India or Hong Kong want to do something, you need to ask for funding. So what you need to do is you present your deck or you present your demand to your regional team, and your regional team will reach out to the global team. So it's a very bureaucracy, or I would say very structured manner, like wherever you need to do funding, project reprioritization, etc. So the reason why I'm saying HSBC is my Agile Incubator is that, well, I am the very first team having the transformation back in 2013. So it was trying to transform department by department. So global wealth management is one of that, and digital banking and other team are doing something similar after that as well. So what happened during HSBC time? So originally I was the technical leader from HSBC and also helping to drive the project delivery as a project manager. And well, you know, it's a top-down approach. So my head of engineering come to me saying that, well, you seems like talkative and willing to share across delivery with like sorry on the background noise. Some renovation outside the wall at Hotley. So, uh, he asked me whether I want to step up to do some agile related stuff. So I took the course from ASC Agile, and I didn't really certify as a Scrum Master at that point of time. And then I helped to and then the reorganization occurred. So I was nominated as a Scrum Master for the unit trust product. So the unit transporter is about like fund trading up around the whole worldwide. So and then I stopped adopting Scrum ceremonies into the teams. And guess what? The whole transformation is only happening on the test side. So uh, we try to introduce that to the business side, but well, they only have time to sit in to to share what have been done with after the sprint completed. So it's more like on a demo basis, on a regular demo basis, but we don't really have business people to drill down, like writing up the backlog or telling the requirement. We actually turning the project execution into like from a waterfall to agile manner or scrum manner to execute. So that's actually what happened during the HSBC time. And then I find it doesn't sound like the correct approach that we should be doing during the transformation. So happen Telstra International. So Telstra is one of the biggest telecommunication in Australia. We do have they do have center in India and Singapore as well. So what happened during the time is that, well, there was opportunities. Telstra is looking for someone to drive the transformation towards the international team. So I was thinking, well, maybe HSBC limited my growth because all the decisions is made from top down. And well, Telstra have a chance that I can drive the transformation on my own together with the management team. So why not to test it out whether is that the limitation of HSBC or some limitation of the industry, etc. So I joined Telstra for like more than 1 year's time in the international team. So, but Telstra itself originally is more like a vendor management model. So we manage different vendors like Infosys and also some local vendor in India. Sorry, I forgot all the names, but but we're running like a vendor management model. So the vendor will sit together with us to deliver in an agile manner. So in the lower left corner, this is myself. So I participate with one of my supervisor wedding in New Delhi. So it was pretty fun, and I know you guys can dance and sing quite well. I would say, in general, that's my impression from India when I stay for more than 1 week. So, so back to Telstra, they have multiple product stream across shared service. So they may have like a marketing stream vertically. They do have a networking team vertically. They do have cloud servicing. They do have blah blah blah. So they have different product stream, and at the same time, technical team is actually shared across all the different streams. So you can imagine on the top line perspective, they do have a portfolio and they do have their product vision, but down the execution level, like the business analysts and the tech team, they share across, and they running a model called product owner policy. So we don't have a delegated product owner from the business team. Instead, we find some business analysts to play the product owner policy role to so in between to the product team and also the product owner policy, they will have regular sync up of what the vision and what's the priority with, and then the product owner policy will sit with the Scrum team to drive the Scrum sprint goal and also the Scrum priority as well. So it's still in the project base, but we are, during the transformation, we're still changing that, and we already start off some chapter of agile practice at that point of time. So overall, as a summary, I think Telstra is getting to that position, but well, having said that, we are not like due to the limitation of the pod stream, the shared service is not delegated. So sometimes we have to fight for resources across different pod stream, and then we will evaluate well who will bring out more potential revenue, etc. So there will be still some debate across that. So what happened like after Telstra is that well, because I don't really have the possibility to drive the whole transformation, because the value stream is quite limited to what the existing layer is. So I joined the VF. So VF, maybe you may not heard of VF. So VF is actually a mother company of many brands like the North Face, Timberland, Vans, Dickies, keep playing Lee's, and they actually acquired Supreme, one of the luxury brand, back in the end of 2019. So if you count in the total revenue, they actually ranked at number 2 in 2021, just behind Nike. So this was the Hong Kong office. We have half the office for in this building. It was a pretty large company, and Hong Kong was one of the one of the regional headquarters. So why I calling that as a sandbox environment? So the time I joined the VF, I was actually got title as a Scrum Master. So they are very open to learn. They just won't stop you from anything. So I started with a Scrum Master, and then I pick up one of the project, and then I told the head of e-commerce and also my CTO that well, let's try on running into agile and see how the feedback, and then we keep on having very positive feedback, and and then eventually there's other project and other brands come to us for saying that what can we try on the agile way of working rather than the traditional way. It's pretty fun, I would say. So we have a very great strategy and vision shared across the whole group. So each quarter there will be town hall, and the strategy will bring into your department, and then your department will also trying to tell you how to break down those strategy into your daily delivery. So this one is quite different from what HSBC and also Telstra doing. So we really turn those strategy and vision into action item. and according to like no matter which department and what kind of value you're bringing to the company, you still need to think of what you can contribute towards that, which is a pretty good alignment. And well, originally they are vendor management style, so normally we partner with a vendor in the for example, if we're running some project in Singapore, we will partner with vendor in Singapore. If we're partnering with Thailand, then we will find the local vendor, etc. But I told the CEO, CTO, and also the COO of the Hong Kong APAC office that, well, this is not going to be work. If you want to have in-house development capability, you want to do agile, you don't want to have a quicker turnaround, you should have more in-house resources. So they took my advice and then they keep expanding the team. So before I left VF, they grow from like a 120 to more than 200 for the APAC region. So apart from that, well, as I mentioned, they are very open to learn. So this is the very first time that I keep starting off many coaching sessions towards first of all towards the technology department, and then penetrate to the marketing and also finance and also whatever department. So basically I train up more than 500 people across APAC. So the fundamental of agile, the Scrum idea, how do we bring into practice. So business are also involved in the training, and a lot business also sit in for our agile delivery. So they do participate in the sprint planning, they do join in some of the daily stand up, they do participate in the sprint demo, and they do give our first hand feedback. So that's three of the experience I want to share with you. But let's talk about the impact. So does it matter on the company scale? I would say HSBC should be the largest one, because if you're just talking about the technical team, HSBC actually got more people than the whole Microsoft company. According to my figure from my old friends in HSBC, we have more than 40,000 40,000 people just in the technology company in HSBC, and Microsoft is just roughly about 35,000. So the transformation involved only the technology department in HSBC. The size of my department is around 200. The region span across Hong Kong, China, India, Singapore. And how do we coach that is that they select us group of people, project manager or technical lead, to sit in for the agile training, and then you tell your team members how do you want to run. But the delivery is still on a project base. They do not have any retrospective at all. So that's the situation at HSBC when I was in there, like in back in 2015 or 17. So in Telstra, so the transformation happened in our technology team and also some of the operation team, like in marketing and marketing operations, sales team, etc. So the size is quite small compared with HSBC, because we have external vendor. So we have 30 internal staff, and then depending on the project, some of that like maybe 15 or 20 vendors. The region mainly from Hong Kong, India, and Singapore. But having said that, the development team are mainly based in India and Singapore. So Hong Kong is more like how do we manage the delivery and how do we governance that. So we have the chapter on the agile practice. So we will have a sharing session across all the Scrum Master and also transformation lead to review does it go right, does it go wrong, and then align the terminology, etc. But the way of delivery is still on the project base. But at least because of the chapter, we still have a retrospective chance that, well, we can adjust some of the changes and some of the lead. So what happened to VF is that, well, the involved team is actually all the teams, although I'm mentioning technology, e-commerce, and marketing, because, well, you know, due to the COVID situation, e-commerce are the very big giant that, well, can expand your company capability. So everyone's talking about e-commerce. How do we streamline? How do we put all the sales to the internet and then do all the operation behind that? So the size involved is more around like 115 technology, and then around 16 business team across the whole region. So the region actually cover all the countries like Hong Kong, China, Singapore, Taiwan, Korea, Japan, and Thai. And I remember we do have an India team in VF, but they are more like a supporting team for the data management level. So they're actually in the tech team as well. So the way of coaching this one is a little bit different because I'm driving the coaching. So most of the coaching is done internally, and then I help to provide some job shadowing and also some practice sharing with them. And I would say it's a semi-product based, but at least we do have retrospective session. So we encourage the brand to speak up rather than the technical team to speak up. So they do have a regular sharing to other brands. So maybe this time is Lotface sharing this experience with the agile delivery with other brands like Vans or Dickie, etc. So this actually the snapshot for the company. So if you ask me, is if the transformation matters on the company's scale, I would say no. It's more like the next slide. How do you bring more impact to the business and also the IT? I would say the agile transformation in IT team is easy to adapt. So typically when you talk to the technical team, well, let's start the delivery in the agile way, and then the first question they have maybe, well, what I need to be do, what I need to be done, and what knowledge I need to be geared with, and then we can eventually turn into that. But I would say if you ask the same to the business team, they are interested in the word of agile because agile is one of the very hit word in the internet in the past 10 years before like machine learning, before data mining, before like a sustainability, EPG, blockchain, etc. Agile is a very hot word. So they are interested to know, but they cannot visualize what you are helping them. So in order to do so, well, uh, in the coming slide, we'll talk about like how do we bring more benefit to the business. So what happened to the IT side as well? Well, project manager or product manager also asked to join the daily stand up. So you don't need to ask me for progress update. You join the daily stand up, then you will be able to tell from the Jira or of course we're using Jira of the tools as well. So you can tell how much ticket is working in progress, how much we are pending, what kind of things that we are blocking into. Then you already know the progress. You don't need to ask or consolidate all the information. And I talk about the business interest already. So project funding model, I think this is one of the hardest point paying the impact to your company because normally it's very easy if you ask for funding for a project because well after the project you will get the return of interest, you will get blah 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 benefit. But if you're running agile, it's very hard for them to say because we are running in a product manner rather than operation manner. So how does it treat this? This is a really headache problem I would see when you transforming the company. But my opinion to you is that well, if you are down to the level talking about the funding model, you may need to leverage the business mouth to suggest how do we run that. So we have well, although there's so many impact, but we also have many pushback. So what can we do? So we need to have more buy-in. So first of all, as a coach or as someone driving the transformation, I will ask you to put yourself into other shoes. So as a business, because normally they will come back, well, I don't really have much time with you, like spending day to day. Why do I need to sit in your daily stand up? What's the benefit I can get? So try to think from their point of view. Maybe you can tell them, well, the reason why I'm doing that so is that, well, if you can see the product earlier, you can reject or you can adjust your product accordingly if there's any chance. And you also need to understand where the resistance when your team is not buying. For example, back in the job that I was in VF, some of the brands having the resistance that they don't want to run into agile because they are very busy with other marketing campaign and also other stuff as well. So you need to understand what their resistance is, and also to tell them what's the benefit that you are able to bring them. And then the third point is I would suggest don't rush, because the rusher you are, the less benefit they can see. So try to penetrate one by one, team by team, and then try to maintain the high visibility and transparency. And then we go into that in the next slide. Share some incentive. For example, if I finish up the product, the product team or the business team still need to write up the like operation manual. Some incentive you can help them is that, well, if you lock down all your backlog in Jira, and then you have a tidy up page in conference, that actually help them to write up user manual, and then they link back where and why we're going to do so. And also, last but not least, try to create a culture of sharing. So I would say normally when you do transformation, technology team is the first one to speed up the benefit, but trying to influence other. For example, if there's another business team telling the benefit on behalf of you, that works 100 times that you what you're trying to do. So trying to find another speaker for you to do the sharing. And also, what about the approach? So we talk about the top-down approach from HSBC. It doesn't work well because I mean everyone is obeying order. What about bottom up? Well, I would say it's very rare for a structure that we have a bottom up, unless your manager doesn't care at all. So I don't really have the structure of experience of bottom up, but 360 definitely will be a great one because, well, not only your workers or your teammates work being recognized by the senior management, and then senior management also aware, okay, what kind of difficulties the team is having. So 360 is a very important approach that when you're trying to do the transformation. Okay, so we've talked about what can we bring out to visibility and transparency. So for example, if you're talking about the more project delivery cycle, of course, the Jira or the Kanban will have the like working in progress item and what kind of blockage. How if you further drill down, you can talk to the epic level, how the percentage goes, and also how the roadmap link it back to this kind of story, because some of the time is business want to know, but they don't want to know into that the level of detail. So one of the very good feature out of Atlassian is the roadmap. Or before that, I mean, I have been using Jira for more than 9 years time. So it was a separate plugin that we need to pay for server version and also data center version. But as long as you are on the data center and also the cloud version, you have it for free. So you can check the epic, and then in under the epic, you can break down into story or task, and all this bring together the visibility to your business team. And at the same time, whenever you have some MVP or the minimal viable product completed, I would suggest you start writing up something on the conference page. So echo back what kind of Jira ticket handle that, and what's the importance and what's the impact, what's the business impact, etc. These all will bring benefit to the business, because when you talk about traditional way, you have the business blueprint, you have the requirement document, but it's very hard for you to search particularly a wording out of all these kind of document. But conference here, when you click on the search, they can do the keyword search according to your project space, and then you will understand, oh, that's the reason why we decided to do that. And before doing that, we actually make some research and study on blah blah blah, and that doesn't work well, and maybe we can come back 1 year time, etc. So this kind of visibility and transparency are those incentives you can bring out to your business team. So let's take a quick recap on what's likely to do for your success. So can't be bottom up or top down on the transformation. You need to align the vision and strategy across the whole company from top to down. really from top to down, and then from every single level of staff, you to ask them, how do you contribute to that vision and strategy? What action item you think you can pay an impact to the company? And don't rush unless well, some of the financial institution, they do have a big bang transformation. They maybe file a whole department, the whole team, and then do the big bang. Otherwise, I would suggest try to do one by one. It takes times. It takes times to realize the benefit, and then take times for people building the trust with you, and also to share across their social circle. Leverage the story of others. So that's what I talk about as well. So building trust and share the incentive. So bringing them more visibility, bringing them more transparency, and of course, last but not least, trying to reflect and adjust. So basically, that's all I want to share today. I think I overrun a little bit, but hopefully we're still on track. And welcome for any question. By the way, the QR code is actually in my LinkedIn profile, so feel free to send me requests. I'm happy to share any question offline as well, or even now. Yeah.
Nikkro, firstly, thank you so much for bringing in much insights on why agile transformation is required and
Hmm.
what it pays for transforming their organizations or the steps they need to follow on. There are I received offline
Yep.
from participants and they're available in the Q&A. On the right side, could you please click on chat window?
Share window. Okay. Let me stop
No,
sharing.
okay. No, not stop sharing.
Uh
On
huh.
your BY platform, yeah, click on chat window. Please click on chat window. No need to share the chat,
Okay.
the first tab.
Chat. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. That one.
click on Q&A, the second tab.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, those are the questions I posted based on the questions I received offline.
Hmm.
So would you mind
Okay.
speaking?
Let me put that to the
The reason
screen.
being this event is getting recorded, so
Yeah, yeah.
people
I got another
yeah.
screen, so it should be fine.
Mm.
um, so is agile transformation really leader given the hierarchy and a definite structure already in place? I would say according like to how your company going to position. If you are going to beat other competitors in the market, you want to shorten your time of go to market. And it, the question is whether you really want to restructure the hierarchy. I would say not a definitely action, but I would say at least the people need to have the same mindset, and you have a team of people that able to deliver a piece of features according to the product. I think that should be sufficient. Yep. So that's my point of view. So the second one is for company already following Scrum practice, how does agile transformation work and get a buy-in? So a very good question. And like if a company running a Scrum practice already, I presume what you're saying is it's not an end-to-end Scrum practice. It's more like on the technology side. So on the technology side, if you're running a Scrum practice, I think this is a good start because you guys already see the benefit of the visualization and also the agility, of course. But your company will not be able to gain the real benefit unless the product team also sit in for the Scrum ceremony. So what I will persuade or suggest to you is that when you run into a very mature model on the Scrum execution, trying to invite some of the business partner to your Scrum ceremonies, especially for the planning and also the demo, because that particular they understand how you are helping them and what are the outcome they will be able to see. As long as this exercise and they keep interested in, they will chip in for the prioritization, and then that will bring out to the next step for whether the product team should be participating in your Scrum team as well. So this is my suggestions.
So, Nikro, following up to the answer, so do you think, I mean, we have this ICP Agile coaching certifications and learnings. So,
Mm,
when a team is practicing Scrum, so they are already living an Agile life, a part of Agile life.
mhm.
So, based on organizations' customizations, they might be following a different or a hybrid approaches.
Yep.
So, do you think to expand the transformation concepts at a bigger level, at our next level, do you think any of the certifications or ongoing learnings will help?
Yep, I think it's a very good question. But I need to be honest. Although I got different certificate, I'm not a big fan of certificate. But I would suggest some of the course outside is actually bringing more information and also ideas why we're running so. So certificate to me is more maybe more on the job hunting side, especially for fintech or insurance or financial related, because they are very quick adapt and quick firing hiring behavior or traditional. So they will look into your certificate. So if I answer your question, to myself, I don't think it's really needed. But if you really need one certificate, try the one from Scrum.org or Scrum Alliance. I think they both serving fine. And as long as your company is running agile, or you have some like you hit up with some barrier that, well, you are talking about a more enterprise or departmental level, you may consider scale agile, because it's talking about portfolio level, team level, department level. That may benefit a little bit. So you can take a look at they have a course like introduction or agile list. Those will bring you the fundamental concept. Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Nikro. So we have two
Yeah.
more questions.
Okay.
We have to
So name few step or factors for transformation at portfolio level or enterprise level. Oh, very good one. So, well, if you're talking about portfolio level and enterprise level, it's a really huge one, because I would raise out some example is that, well, when we're doing the portfolio transformation during VF, we actually slide the technology team across different functional groups. So some from the marketing, some from the e-commerce, some from the what is it, sourcing, some from the brick and mortars, which is the in-store technology, some from the innovation, etc. So it's a huge change, I would say, because normally business run into the way that, well, I am a brand team, I'm a buyer, I'm a seller, I need to look for sourcing, that's all. And if we have like the portfolio concepts like vertically, that actually bring up a very huge change. Uh, so first of all, it's like how do we align distribution and strategy across your vertical line? So when I talk about like the marketing team, they do have a end to end from the portfolio standpoint, what they are trying to drive the growth, and they have a dedicated technology team focusing on the data mining and machine learning to get the data driven behavior out of that. But at the same time, because those kind of features related go together with the maybe the e-commerce platform, maybe the consumer loyalty platform. So these kind of things will bring you to the level of what we call the program increment planning, the PI planning. So you have a more high level perspective on the agile release train, and then during that train, some of that will be fitting for the marketing, some of that will be fitting the e-commerce, something that will be fitting in-store technology. So those are the keywords that you may probably want to deep dive into when you go into the portfolio transformation. Yep. So from Anthony,
okay.
yep, thanks.
Yeah, there are two
Based on
questions from Anthony. So yeah,
okay,
please.
based on the information you have, in which sector you have seen the highest requirement for agile transformation? Well, a very good one. Um, I can only share my experience across APAC. I think to be honest, for the Western culture, like the United States and also US and also Australia, they are actually playing something quite different. Some from for APAC perspective, it's very strange, very weird as well, because for whole APAC, they are very money centric. So wherever which industry gaining the most money, they will aim for the agile transformation. So back in my journey, as you can see, banking was one of the very first tiers trying to do the agile transformation back in around 2010. HSBC is one of the pioneer doing agile transformation. Um, After that, I see Standard and Charter Banking doing agile transformation around 2015. I do have friends doing agile coach over there, and also introducing to the like insurance side, AIA, Manulife, etc. They start. I think slightly 1 to 2 years behind banking, and then after the banking and insurance got the first taste, this penetrate to other company, like folks are startup. So I'm working in Sarai, which is a startup company. Of course, startup is agile manner already. So that penetrate to retail, because e-commerce play a very huge impact, especially in COVID. So VF, I think they are the one of the very first transforming agile as well. Because before I joined VF, no one really know about agile in APAC. That's talking about 2017. Our competitors like Estee Lauder, Nikes, Adidas, they are not running through agile. As far as I know, Adidas trying to run agile and fail. They back to the project mode, because retail, as I mentioned previously, they are running into like a vendor and project management model, so they don't really treasure the benefit for agile. But I do see the lead for agile is increasing, like the PVH group and also the LVWM also starting off for agile as well. Yep. So healthcare, I cannot take that as a reference, because Hong Kong healthcare is actually driven by governments more than 50%. So I know they are claiming to run agile, but in the depth, I don't think they are really truly agile at this point of time, because government service utilities, normally they are those law that wash they don't have much competitors. But if you're talking about private hospital, I think they are running agile, because uh, normally the tech team in private hospital is not large. Maybe more than half of the team are doing support and operation, and some of that may be running into a project and also a project management model with external parties or external software provider. Those will be running into agile. Yeah, so that's what I see in the APAC. So I think that's the last question from Anthony as well. Is there any specific certification for Agile
There's
Trans?
one more question from Anthony
Mhm.
related to certification course or agile transformation.
Well, that is a very good question. To be honest, I didn't see a specific course only for agile transformation. There's some digital transformation and agile transformation course from university, but not from like a third party provider. The reason why I asked similar question to my agile coach long time ago. The reason why is that there's no one book or one to fit all for the transformation. You need to understand what are the pain point of your company before you start off the transformation. So there are many consultancy firm across the APAC, like McKinsey and EY, Deloitte, KPMG, etc. Those kind of like managing consulting firms. Try to take a look at their paper. Their paper may give you some insights what they are trying to do. Normally, they will do a funnel or filter analysis of your business. So what are the major pain point, and then down to the next level, if I'm resolving what kind of pain point will bring out the most benefit, and then you will come back to the roadmap whether you need to transform your organization or not. Yeah, you can take a look on those reference. I see that is quite good, and you can get more sense of like how other industry goes as well. Yep. So any further questions?
I don't see any at the moment, and let's ask the audience before we wind up.
Yeah.
Team, I've seen very few people who have enabled the audio and video option, and I say Murali and Sarika Jain. So, do you guys have any questions or queries that Nikkro can help you with?
Yeah, thanks, Nikkro, for a wonderful session. So, what I think is that going big bang with agile transformation is always going to fail, right? So, what do you suggest should be the approach? Should the agile transformation start with the IT department and then go on with other departments?
Well, I would say from my experience, most of the triggering are from the IT department because everyone knows IT is the easiest one to absorb, and you cannot start off something. For example, the business have the agile mindset, but your delivery team doesn't have it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
quite common for the tech team to start with. So my suggestion back to your question, if I have a chance that it's not a big bang, I would do it with according to my confidence level. I try to change or try to introduce to whoever have the openness and also the willingness to understand that, and then we try to penetrate further. For example, if this time I'm working with the e-commerce team, next time I can work with the marketing team because they are trained together on the business side. So as long as the business side keep penetrating the understanding of the benefit for themselves, they are open to you. Once their door are open, then you can penetrate more, and hopefully either your senior manager will notify, okay, this kind of atmosphere is going good, and let's talk about like organization change or structure change. So these are the I would say not very bottom up, but at least you're penetrating the idea from one another. Or in the other way around, when you have a confident level gear up, you can persuade your management level, can we try something more, can we extend to blah 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 team, and let's see the comeback. I would say normally pushback you will be encountering, especially when the time that I'm working with many like very experienced project manager. They don't trust this will be working, and it takes a while. And as long as they see and they visualize the benefit, and they visualize well what kind of progress and what kind of time they are able to shorten, they are open to that. Because well, at the end of the day, every one of the company need to deliver and contribute values, and this how to bring the visibility and transparency across your organization. Yep. So that's my suggestions.
Okay, thank you for your suggestion, Nikro.
Yeah. Thank you for your question, Sir Saranga. Yeah.